and we're off. Move my tools again, it kept coming back. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's first start with a generator. So we're going to generate some content today. So I'm going to use ChatGPT, which is the old favorite. And for some reason, my spotlight has just gone on. Okay, so ChatGPT is still the favorite, still the best one, and absolutely free. If you use the free version, you can go up to 4.0, which is a paid version. It's about 300 to 400 Rand a month, depending on the USD exchange. But the free version is really so good that I don't have a paid account. I don't use it that much. So I just use my normal Gmail account and log in for the free version. Okay, so you should all be familiar with ChatGPT. If you're not, it's just a very simple prompt and result system. So we prompt it here and it will, give us a writing up that it writes up. And then here on the left, you can see all of your previous prompts and results. So I'm going to just put in a prompt. My colleague and I just spoke about this, so this might be a good one. I'm going to say, write a 300-word essay on the shark skin anatomy. And it's always good to tell it what to focus on. So I'm going to say focusing on denticles and the purpose in buoyancy. So the more specific you are, buoyancy. Buoyancy. It's okay, it will fix it for me. I can't remember how to spell buoyancy. I don't think that second U goes in. Anyway. There we go. Okay, so the more specific you are, the better results you will have. And this will also go a long way into fooling a detection system, making it more human. So the more you, write in the prompt, the more specifics you ask for, the more you rewrite, the better it will do later on. Okay. Llewellyn is asking if it will take your CUT email to register. Yes, it will. I just use my Gmail because it's easier to log in. I don't have to go and type in. It just asks to log in with but yes, any email to register for ChatGPT will do. Okay, so we're going to prompt. Let's go. It's going to generate some information for us. It's going to stick to 300 words, hopefully, because, otherwise it takes too long. And it's telling us all about how denticles play a role in hydrodynamic stability. It's very interesting. Go and read about denticles if you're bored anytime. Okay, so great. I'm happy with this. I'm going to go and copy my text. And let's go to the first detection. So the first detector I'm going to show you is the free one. And this is called Wordtune. So I'm going to put that link in the chats for you to save. Okay, and this is the first detector. And as I say, it's completely free. When you put in the URL that I've just shared, you come to this page automatically, no sign in, nothing, just a complete free browser application. Okay, so I'm going to paste my text here. Oops, I just scanned. I copy again. Paste my text here, and then I'm going to analyze. Now, this one has a limit up to 5,000 characters. And you can see below here that 2,636 were used in our 300-word paragraph. And as you can see, it says it was completely done by human and not AI. Now, this is why I wanted to show you the free versions, and there are a couple of other ones out there, and I've tested a bunch of them. They are never as accurate as the paid versions. I mean, it states that it can find any, generated things, but what it actually does is it has its own AI generator. So Wordtune also has an AI generator. And in this case, let's use that same prompt. In this case, it detects it quite well. Its detector detects its generation quite well. But that's a problem because your papers or journal or will, not use these. They will use Originality AI, which is the most used one, and it's much more difficult to fool. So if I say, I'm going to generate with AI, okay. So Wordtune.com also generates AI, and this is what it came up with. Now, if we put that through its, let's see if it actually picks up its own AI generated content. No, not even. So be very, very careful of these free content detectors. They are not accurate, and you will find a problem with that. Okay, so again, this was generated by its very own generator, and it couldn't detect it. So be careful of the freebies. Okay, so I'm going to go back and copy my ChatGPT link, and I'm going to show you Originality AI. So this is definitely the best one on the market at the moment. It's not that expensive. What I like about the billing account system is that you pay as you use. So you buy these little bundles of what they call credits. So you can see that I have 3,035 credits, and when I finish my credits, I just buy another bundle. So it's not a monthly subscription as other sites will have. So you only pay as much as you use it. So that's quite nice. And it's not that expensive. You can come here to billing details to see when you're on the website, you can just go and have a look at the prices and plans and see what's best for you. They actually have, I think I received an email a couple of days ago where they have a sale on at the moment. I'm not too sure. It might have been another email, but check. It might be actually cheaper at the moment to get a thing. Okay, right. So here we're going to go. I'm going to paste in that content. I've got 386 words, and that's going to cost me 8 credits. So you can see it's really not expensive. Okay, and I'm going to scan. And also checks plagiarism. You can uncheck this box if you want it to be faster. I should have done that now. I wasn't thinking. Its plagiarism check is also pretty good, but we do have a Turnitin account at CUT that you can use. So that's not really necessary for us. Just give it a second. Okay, while that's loading, I'm quickly going to paste this into a Word document and put it through Turnitin to compare, because Turnitin also checks for Originality and AI. Let me just save it somewhere. Okay, so it never actually takes this long. I'm not sure why it's taking so long today. It's obviously just because I have, people on the other end. There we go. 100% AI. So you see the comparison between this app and the free one. It's this one thought that the entire thing was written by a human, whereas Originality knows that it was 100% AI written. And this is the app that most journals will be using, most universities will be using at the moment. Like I said earlier, the technology is going so fast that we really can't, the companies can't keep up. So in a week's time, the generators will be ahead and it will be impossible to detect. In 2 weeks' time, the detectors will be ahead and it will be impossible to get AI written material through. So it's something that's continuously moving and fluid. So you have to just kind of keep abreast of it. But at the moment, Originality AI is the best one. And like I said, it's not really that expensive. And because you pay as you use, you only pay for what how many words and so on you check. Okay, someone is asking a question, how do I get use Turnitin as a CUT student? Unfortunately, there are no accounts available for students. You will need to get your lecturer to put through. So have your lecturer contact us at eLearning and we can organize an account for them. And then they can put your copies through to Turnitin. So let's have a look at Turnitin while we're talking about it. Because Turnitin also has a very good AI detector, but again, not as good as Originality. And then when we're done with this, I'm quickly going to show you ways of rewriting your AI written things so that it is more human. But remember that a lot of you must have seen this who have used AI to write some things. It's not great. It's not really great, and it's easy to spot, especially if your students are using it and not using it correctly. You see, all of these AI written materials pretty quickly because the wording they use is funny. Let's have a look at AI detection, 100%. Okay, so you can see that Turnitin's is also pretty good. What's interesting, if you would note, is 0% plagiarism, because of course that was not plagiarized. It was originally created content, but with the use of an AI generator. Okay, so now you can see that absolutely everything was AI generated. Okay, so Turnitin, we already have a license and we can put that through to you. And it's pretty accurate, although it's not as accurate, we found, as Originality. And also, like I said, Originality, let's get back to it. Where is the little thing that they say? Yeah, they check all of these. And they can see which generator was used to create this content. I just want to see where. I think that's on their dashboard to see which ones they check. I'll get back to that, but they check all of the generators. Jenny, they check Wordtune, they check Quillbot, they check all of them. So it is more widely spread and it's also more accurate and it grows quicker than what Turnitin does. But we already have a Turnitin account. So if you want to get created account, do your originality checks with your AI checks that way. Contact us if you don't have an account yet. And then we can set it up, or you can, if you're interested, go ahead and use Originality.ai. So I'm going to put that into the chats. If you want to go and have a look at it. Andre is asking, can you show originality test with the original text if you have a sample? The original text. Are you talking about the ChatGPT text here that I've got? Is this the original text? Oh, you want to see what happens if I have something originally? Okay, let's see. Must have something here. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so I'm just going to put an article through. That would be the best. Okay, so I've got an article here. This is definitely original writing. This was me, so definitely not AI. This is even before AI anyways. So I'm going to take that and let's put it into Originality. And we're going to go back to content scanning, paste it in. And we're going to scan. And this is what that's going to look like. And you can see that this is 100% original, 0% AI. Andre, does that answer your question? Is that what you meant? Okay, yeah, so it's very accurate with finding, original. I've tested this a couple of times and it's pretty good. Sometimes the only thing that I have picked up is sometimes when it's 100% AI generated, it sometimes gets like 97 or 96% instead of the full 100. But I mean, that is a margin of error that I can live with. So that's the only thing where I've seen it not being completely accurate, but it's most of the time it is spot on. So that's one of the things. So let's have a look at how to maybe humanize your text more. So before I show you this, just a caveat, I'm not condoning writing your articles with AI and then, humanizing it with some of these apps. I still encourage you to use AI to help you write, not to write the entire thing for you. Also, don't do it because those of you who have started using it, it's not very good. The writing is poor at most until, you know, AI learns a lot more. It's not really something that I would recommend using for proper academic writing. I've seen people put out work where they've really prompted the system, you know, and have the system go in depth and rewriting until they do actually come out with something very readable. But still, even then, it doesn't really put your brand on it, if you can say that. It really does feel very removed. So I would never write something completely with AI in the first place. But that being said, if you do have something that you want to write and you want to humanize it a little bit more, Undetectable.ai is the way to go at the moment. So like I said a while back, you could just put it in Quillbot and rephrase it and it will pass detection. It doesn't do it anymore. So you can rephrase it in Quillbot 20 times and it's still going to detect the AI behind it. So, you know, Undetectable.ai might not work in a couple of months. So for now, though, it is still the best one. So I'm going to go back to my ChatGPT and I'm going to put in my text here. And then we can say what kind of readability level we want. So maybe this is at high school level. What is the purpose? And I'm going to say this is an essay, for instance. And all of this tells it a little bit more of what style to go for. Now, you can have it more readable or balanced if you just want it rewritten, but we want to have it more human. So I'm going to say humanize. And we're going to just wait for a second. Okay, it's all done. I'm going to copy my output. Let's go back to Originality.ai. Let me just refresh this so we have a new one. I'm going to paste that in again. No, why did I not copy? Sorry, I thought I copied this. Copy. Output copied. There we go. We're going to scan again. Again, taking very long today. It's always the case when I'm doing training sessions. I feel like the world knows when I'm up for a training session and they slow down the internet and everything. All right, great. Now you can see that that same text, but put through Undetectable, is now 81% original, 19% AI. And this you can get down just by going through your document and just having a look at what it puts up as the 90% and just rewriting some of it, because most of you will have to rewrite whatever the AI put up, because like I said, it's not really personal and it doesn't always make sense. So you will probably have to go through it and just, you know, replace some words that are more relevant for your context, or maybe change some of the American spelling. I still can't. I've told ChatGPT 5,000 times now to give me the UK spelling and it's still right in the US spelling. I don't know what's wrong with mine. But it's things like that you will have to go and change, and that will probably get you to the full 100%. Okay, so this is the best way at the moment I found. Like I said, there are free ones available and you can go and have a look at those free apps. But like I showed you earlier, they are not as good as Originality.ai, and also Undetectable.ai is also the best one at the moment for rewriting, so it reads as human. We already have a Turnitin account, which already has a AI checker built in. So just send us an email if you don't have your account set up yet, and I'll help you with that. And you can do it through that. Unfortunately, Turnitin does not have anything like this that rewrites AI for you. Okay, so that's it, what I want to show you. Please feel free to ask me some questions, or if you have some apps that you use that you think are better. It's always funny, every time I do a training, somebody emails, a lot of people actually email me afterwards and says, but these apps are better. And I think, why didn't you tell us that in the session so we could share it with everyone? So please, if you know of something that's better, please, you know, tell us about it and then we can talk about it. So please unmute yourselves, put in the chat, whatever you want, go for it. While you're all thinking, I'm also going to put the attendance link on. Why is it doing that? Okay, that's fine. I'm putting the attendance link again into the chat for those of you who haven't been able to complete the survey yet. Please quickly complete the survey so that I can report back that you were in fact here. And then any questions? I'm just opening up. Where did my participants go? I can't see if you raised hands. Okay, there we go. I'm back. All right, raise your hand or just start talking. Put it in the chat. Anyone with any questions, please go ahead. Paul, you've unmuted yourself. Do you want to ask a question? And then Patrick after that. See, your hand is up.
No, I'm sorry. No question from my side.
Is it an accident? Okay, Patrick, you're next. And then Ritu, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, Ritu after Patrick. Patrick first. Sorry.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I wanted to find out, is there a certain amount of, percentage to have, let's say, your article or your document with AI generated? Let me put it this way: when you have take your article through to turn it in for plagiarism checking, you're allowed to at least have 10% plagiarism. It's still acceptable, but for AI, is there a limit in terms of your text being generated by AI? I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, no, perfect sense. Good question. So the CUT does not yet have a stance on this. They have released a new policy on our AI, protocol and such. They haven't yet said anything about percentage-wise, only that we do allow AI usage, but it's up to the lecturer and their discretion how students are allowed to use it, and they have to cite when using it. Also, like plagiarism detection, it's very difficult to put a percentage on it because it completely depends on the document. I mean, if you have 10% AI written on one A4 document, 10% is, a third or, a paragraph, whereas 10% in a PhD document is a whole chapter almost. Not really, but you understand what I'm saying. So it depends on the document. It depends on what it's handed in for. If it's a, basic, just a research assignment your students have done, it might be less or more, depending on. So at the moment we are saying lecturer's discretion. The journals do have, I've seen a couple of journals who have started, putting numbers on it, and they would say, okay, you have a 12% plagiarism check allowed and an 8% AI. So some of the journals have started putting numbers on it, and that will differ from journal to journal. But the CUT officially does not yet have a policy that states anything like that.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick. Okay, Ritu, you up next, and then Prof. Chipunza.
So I would like to know, how can we use then AI personally for academic writing? Because my real concern is the plagiarism. So is there any way, and how far is AI and the development at this stage to do the data analysis?
Okay, so firstly, let's answer the first section. Plagiarism, when generated by AI, is almost always 0% because the document is not plagiarized. It's original in that sense. It just wasn't written by you. So in another sense, it's another type of plagiarism, because plagiarism is obfuscating the origin of the work. So in a way, AI-generated content is still a form of plagiarism because you did not clarify where the content has come from. But that is something that is still being discussed up and down. We haven't really, come down to the rules. And like I said, CUT hasn't really released policy that is, addressing those issues. But to use AI for academic writing, a couple of weeks ago, our talks looked at Jenny AI. So I'm going to put it in the chat here for you. And this would be my go-to AI generator to use for academic writing, because it's more writing with the AI than what ChatGPT is. So in other words, as you write, Jenny AI, recommends things, recommends rewriting certain sections. So it's much more of a collaborative project, and the result is much more authentic and it has your voice in it. So if I were to write with AI academic writing, I would use Jenny AI instead of using ChatGPT. It's also free, and I've done a talks on it a couple of weeks ago, so it is under that playlist, the eThuto Talks playlist. So go ahead and have a look at that talks, because this would definitely be my go-to if you want to use AI when writing. Also, Grammarly is great for normal grammatical and spelling and things like that. It also has a very nice synonym recommendation thing that it has, but Jenny AI really is better. I think that is definitely the way to go for that. And you will pass plagiarism checkers 100%, because anything generated by AI will be seen as original. I hope that answers your question.
No, I'm aware of the Jenny AI, but
Okay.
I was only thinking, like, is there any other way? Because like you said, there is nothing as such on pen and paper, depending on with which, what is our context of reference, specifically to the journals, to check the similarity or plagiarism index.
Yeah. No, so they will always be, Turnitin will probably always be the go-to for plagiarism, and the rules will remain the same. But normally, like I say, AI-generated content does not pick up as plagiarism as a general rule. You were asking about data analysis. I do think ChatGPT is able to do data analysis. What I find it most helpful for is, rather than doing the entire analysis, is to have it identify with your data what kinds of analysis you can do. So that's quite helpful. All right, so Prof. Chipunza and then Dr. Zanzi.
Yeah, I see somebody is just something to ask about Grammarly. Grammarly subscription at CUT. Do we have it, and how can we have it?
You know what? Get in contact with Samantha Lee Marupen from the research office, or Dr. Sempe. I do know that they buy Grammarly. Also, some departments have bought it for the entire department from their own budget. Unfortunately, we do not yet have a campus-wide license, but it is something that we are talking about currently with the Writing Center. We are thinking of getting one for the students as well, so getting an entire campus-wide one. But at the moment, not yet. I do know of some departments that have managed to do it.
All right. My second question is, sorry, I came a little bit late in your presentation.
That's fine.
I might have to come to your office for one-on-one session. There are some things I need. I don't want to ask them here. I might be delaying other people, but I've got one more question. Does AI, when we generate some writing with AI, is there provision for it to put references?
Yes, you can. So for instance, let's go back to this one that I've had. Now I've written something here on the shark skin. So I'm going to say, please add a list of references. Although I'm going to tell you it's not very accurate.
The text. I mean, the reference is in the text, not at the end.
Okay.
In the text, as it writes paragraphs, does it put...
I've got it to do it once. By the way, Jenny AI does this. Jenny AI allows you to do in-text referencing as you go. You just import your documents. So that's quite another thing that's quite nice about it. Can you add those references in text? Let's see what it does. I don't think it's going to be able to. Oh, yep, there we go. And it added them in text. So it can do it. But Prof, I will tell you that go and look at these references before you go ahead. We have found so many times that it just makes up references that don't exist. So just make sure that you double check them.
Yeah. It's. But then my last question is, whilst we are happy AI is available and this, the issue of a student or myself as an academic critically developing texts, through reading, through downloading articles, developing that, analytical writing skill is basically gone, isn't it? Why I'm asking this is because I see a possibility of marking assignments that have been AI generated from students. And students basically can generate an assignment in 2 hours, before submission, and then they give it to me.
Yeah, exactly. Now
And
that's
now I don't have time to go through 500, assignments to check whether they've been AI generated. And for me, it's really a big issue.
yeah, of course.
Whilst we applaud, the trend in terms of where the world is going, making life easier, robots are doing things for us, AI is funny for us, life is made easier, IoTs, nature of things, everything. But I think within the academic environment, we are actually destroying our students. This AI is actually a distraction on the intellectual capabilities of students to think independently, to write independently, to really develop competencies in terms of what the academic program is meant for. That is my own bone of contention. Thank you.
Thanks, Prof. Yes, agreed. It is a big problem. The problem is, though, it's not really something we can do. We cannot block the use of AI. Students will still use it. The reason why we are having the AI discussions this term, so you'll see that all of our discussions this term are AI, is to help you as the lecturers understand and explore the software, because the more you work with it, the more you'll start to recognize it in your students' writing without going and uploading every one of them to a checker, and understanding its limitations as well. You'll easily start spotting these little telltale signs of AI writing, and then you might only have to 1 in every 10 check for when you see some of these red flags. So I'm hoping that if we all, explore the technology, we'll be better able to combat it and recognize it in our students' usage. Okay, Dr. Tsanzi, your turn, please go ahead.
Thank you, Leandri. I think my question or concern is somehow related to what Professor Chipunza has just said, because I was here sitting wondering, having 50 plus assignments, and how do I detect or how do I check their originality one by one? And I was actually wondering whether there's anything that can be done, maybe from your side, to detect this for us, just like how SaferSign is built in to detect plagiarism for us. We just go check the report and then we make decisions. Because really to check the originality of 50 plus assignments, it's so cumbersome, and we might not be able to win this one. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you.
So I'm going to say this, but please don't quote me on this later because it might not come back. What we are trying to do at the moment is getting enough funding to turn it into Blackboard instead of SaferSign, because it already has the AI detection built in. That way, when your students upload, it will be similar to having a SaferSign. But please don't quote me on that. It's very expensive. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get the money, but we are going to motivate it as much as we can and hopefully see if we can get the funding for that. If we can do that, then, that will be better for you who have very large classes and a lot of text-based assignments. But in the meantime, we'll have to go the long route and hope that our students, do not abuse us. So I'll keep you abreast of that. And if we do manage to get it, it will only be in next year's budget. So we won't be able to get it this year at all, but we are trying. Any more questions, comments, sharing? We have about 10 minutes left. Oh, no, more than 12. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording so long so that we keep it short for those who want to go and watch it later.